honestly just a matter of getting discovered in a way that isn't. What? I thought you quit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Dubnus Drubbings. Today is going to have to be a bit of a quicker video just because I am really stretched for time. So let's just get right into it. So, Rally versus Cobalt Terrans. Unfortunately, this was always going to be a done affair, and indeed Cobalt Terrans did win. Sammy versus Rat won as well. So both of those predictions correct, along with VCats versus Cope, and obviously Mood decided not to play Comes, so that's 4 for 4. Oh, I don't remember who I predicted for WFAT versus Toes, but I'm pretty sure I predicted WFAT. And then PTSD also won pretty convincingly against HKLA, who just, unfortunately for them, they failed to collapse the point in time in the first half, and then the second half the HKLA they collapsed the point too early at Chimney Rock Depot, and that really hurt them. Overall, a pretty run-of-the-mill week. No upsets, nothing kind of out of the ordinary, and kind of everything happened as you would expect. Speaking of expectations, Cobalt Terrans this weekend versus VCats. I'm sorry, VCats, it's not looking good for you lot. So Cobalt Terrans, 5-0, maybe 6-0. We'll see. Like, they're gonna win. There's no doubt in my mind. Rally versus Mood on lane 3. You would expect Rally to win because Rally have experience on lane 3, but also, Mood is a very infantry-focused team, so if Rally can leverage their air, and can leverage kind of force multipliers, they'll beat Mood. But they have to use force multipliers, otherwise Mood might, there might be an upset. Toes versus Rat. Look, it's Woodman, Ikapavata, anything can kind of happen for Toes versus Rat. I advise Toes, and again, it's going to come down to the execution of the plan for Toes, right? Just like how it was against HKLA, it's going to come down to the execution. And I don't know, I'm a bit demoralized with Toes, so I'm going to go with Rat. Just because, Rat have just performed better thus far this season. They've been much more convincing. For example, 5-0 against Sammy when Toes beat Sammy 2-1, I think it was. So yeah. We're gonna skip one match and we'll just quickly handle HKLA versus Sammy, which is of course a HKLA win. Don't expect Sammy to win that, but then we have the one match that I haven't mentioned this week, which is Cope versus Cum. But again, before I dive into that, I just want to say that PTSD versus WFAT, which was also the big other kind of headliner match this week, has been delayed until March 6th. I'm actually going to cover that prediction here right now, and I'm going to say WFAT to win. I think people have underestimated their air game a little bit, and just their gameplay in general. So I am going to say WFAT. But like, it's not going to be a convincing win. Like, it's going to be 2-0, 2-1 at the most, maybe 3-1 or something. PTSD, they're a very good side, and they could definitely win it. Like, I'm talking 45% chance of PTSD winning, 55% of WFAT winning. So yeah. WFAT really only just kind of edging it out for me, I think. So Cope versus Cum. Okay, there's a lot to talk about for this match. Let's start with the team that I advise, of course, which is Cum. Okay. They're a decent side. They've grown a lot. They've got a pretty decent roster. And the way they think about Lanesmash, I think, is pretty good as well. You know, come beat Cobalt Terrans. Cope, however, did not. Right? So if we're going off results this season, that I think is a bit concerning for Cope. So let's have a look at why they lost. Drew the Cobalt Terrans. Right? It felt like a bit of a loss because they won the first half 2-0 and then they got 2-2'd. Right? They were missing Azor due to the penalty for the cheating. And Azor's an important figure on that team. And I've worked with Azor before in terms of 2 years ago with Short Stack, but that's 2 years ago now, right? So, or it's not really as as kind of useful as it was in the past, perhaps, to say that. But I know from my experience working with him 2 years ago is that he's very competitive. He he does like to play it off as a joke and whatnot, and meme around. But make no mistake, this guy is competitive and he wants to win, right? You don't stack a team like Cope and not want to win. It's just not how it works. And if you believe otherwise, then you probably believe that Russia wasn't going to invade Ukraine if you don't think that team is competitive, right? Or wanting to win. So going off past results, right? The Cobalt Terror match, especially. There's all those asterisks around it, The main asterisk, of course, being Azor not there, and I think there were some claims that Cope's pilots weren't there either, or some of their pilots weren't. I'm not too sure what I believe. In that situation. All I know is that Aiken the Bavada lane is it's a good lane for both teams, right? And it's all going to be down to really the opening strategies of the match. Will what I expect Cope to do versus what I would expect Come to do. And honestly, we could see a draw. No cap. I hate draws, but we could actually see one again. That is a distinct possibility, by the way. It is a real possibility, a draw. So yeah, I don't want to predict the draw though, because I don't like predicting draws. So in terms of who I think is gonna win it out, I mean, to be honest, flip a coin. It's gonna be whoever's the better team on the day, right? Whoever's got a better leadership, whoever's got the better plan, that's who's gonna win. There's no distinct roster difference, right? Maybe you could give the advantage to Cope's Air, whilst I know some people would give the advantage to Cum's infantry, but let's not forget Cope's got freaking Land Whale and a Max, right? So their infantry's pretty strong as well. I mean that's the most notable name, but there are plenty of other names on that roster as well to give you pause. So I'm gonna predict like a 2-0 or 2-1 win for Cope, but not by a lot. Not by a lot at all. I'm talking there's a few percentages in this. If there's let's say there's a 40% chance of a draw, right? Then there's a 31% chance of Cum winning and a 30 39% chance. No, sorry, 31% chance of Cope winning, and a 29% chance of Cum winning. Right? That's if I've done my math there correctly. 2 plus 2 is 4. Quick math. So yeah. Like, it wouldn't surprise if there's a draw. Because these teams are super close, and it's going to be a really good watch. I won't be able to watch it live, unfortunately. I would really like to, but I simply I'm not able to. But if you are able to watch it live, I do recommend doing so. It is gonna be a really good match, and in terms of who's casting it, you have got Varunda and Eternal, which is a pretty good caster duo indeed. Yeah, it's gonna be so close. Like, I should really predict a draw, because honestly, you could flip a coin, because it's just down to who performs better on the day. But no, I will go with Cope to win, not by a lot. I do think it is really that close. I think this is the closest game we're probably going to have. In terms of like the top teams, right? Obviously, Toes versus Sammy was pretty close, but this is also going to be super close. So yeah. In terms of where we go from here, my my kind of playoff predictions won't really be coming out until the playoffs have been finalized. However, if we have a quick look at the standings here, we can see roughly which teams are going to go through. I would expect to see in the playoffs Cope, Cum, Cobalt Terrans, and Rally in no particular order. Again, this Rally versus Mood match, very important match for Rally, but I do think they'll win it. And then on Group B, WFAT, PTSD, RAT, and HKLA. So those are really the 4 teams that I would expect to see making it through to the playoffs. And there'll be like a much more in-depth video about that when the playoffs have been finalized, the schedule's been finalized, and we see which teams are playing which teams. So thank you for watching. Have a good weekend, and yeah, nice one. See ya.